Hello and welcome back to Behind the Wall. Today we'll be taking a look at the My Bariatric Solutions 300 and the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 from this past weekend. Now, sadly, due to scheduling conflicts, I was unable to watch either race this weekend, but from what I heard, the wrecks were really crazy, and the Xfinity race was just pure chaos. The Cup race was okay, but it wasn't as exciting as the Xfinity race. I kind of wish I'd seen them now, but then again, Jimmy crashed, and Larson crashed, and Suarez crashed, and Bowman crashed, and Boyer didn't crash, so I think it might be a good thing that I didn't. But even though I didn't see the race, I somehow have a lot of drivers to talk about, and I mean a lot. But I want to take some time to reflect on this weekend. Thank goodness we got 2 exciting weekends in a row and not go back to pure boringers right after Martinsville. Hopefully Bristol continues this streak and we can get some good action these next few weeks. But let's go ahead and get things started with the subtopics and other news stories, and I'm probably going to run out of time, so let's just go ahead and go. You know, it's bad enough when you aren't well known, but it's worse when you trash your ride while trying to persuade people that you're a worthy replacement driver. And for Vinnie Miller, I don't see it at all yet. He's had average to mediocre runs, and he just really hasn't shown the same speed that Harrison Rhodes did. I think that JD Motorsports had the perfect lineup with Garrett Smithley, Harrison Rhodes, and Ross Chastain, who showed good speed and were even able to contend for championships. I have no clue what crossed Johnny Davis's mind to replace Harrison Rhodes with Vinnie Miller, and then add Matt Mills to the team. But he needs to hire Rhodes back. Matt Mills hasn't been doing a good job either. If you ask me, just have Miller and Mills share the 15 car, and bring Harrison Rhodes back for the 01 car. Come on, Johnny Davis, you had the perfect team. This weekend was a complete throwaway for Martin Truex Jr. No laps led and he finished last. It doesn't help that he essentially ended stage 1 with his crash. This weekend is not what we expect from the 78 team, and it's a major disappointment for Furniture Row Racing nowadays. But hopefully he can return to form next week and get himself a good finish at Bristol. Another example of a bad weekend is Kyle Larson. And what sucks even more is that this is the second year in a row that Kyle Larson has crashed at Texas, but technically the second race in a row. And this year so far has been average for Kyle Larson, with not the best runs, and considering that he was so dominant last year until the playoffs rolled around and ruined the year. I think it's safe to say that for now, the dominance has worn off, and he's struggling to return to form right now. But maybe in these next few races, he can return to his dominating ways and win a few races before the year's up. You know, considering that Justin Allgaier made it to the Final Four last year, you'd think he'd be actually trying to win the championship this year. Nope, his engine expired early and he had to settle for 35th. We expect these poor runs from guys like Chad Little or Stephen Light, not Justin Allgaier. His performance was almost embarrassing for JR Motorsports, considering that they looked to have another great year by adding Tyler Reddick to the roster. But they had an average weekend as well. And most, if not all, the JR Motorsports cars fell in points this weekend. Next week should be a return to form for these guys. Except for Michael Annett, because he sucks. Chad Fincham is scheduled to make his Cup debut this weekend, unless MBM Motorsports withdraws like they did this weekend. Yet he crashed twice in this race. Twice! And he already isn't the best driver in the garage. He didn't need to strengthen that title by wrecking twice and making Vinnie Miller's finish look like a top 10. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Chad Fincham isn't ready for the Cup Series, and he won't be at this rate. But he could prove me wrong. Eventually. But still, he isn't ready. Poor Brandon Jones. Yes, I'm actually saying that. After last year's abysmal performance, we were all skeptical when it was announced that he was getting a ride with Joe Gibbs. We all had pretty low expectations for Brandon Jones. but he has surprisingly defied them. Maybe it's just because of the equipment he has now, but he's been doing pretty well this year. Maybe his driving talent has finally been awakened. Such a shame because it crashed. And he had help from Kaz Gralla. Why Gralla has an Xfinity ride, I will never know. And keep in mind, he won stage 2. Yeah, Brandon Jones got a stage win. Surprising, right? If these good runs keep up, I'll honestly want to see Brandon Jones win a race in the 19 car before Ryan Preece or Kyle Benjamin take the ride from him. Too bad he still kind of sucks without JGR equipment, though. But hopefully he can prove me wrong and go back to RCR or maybe go with some other, big name manufacturer or team and, show that he can compete without JGR equipment. Finally, for once on this show, I can say something positive about Bubba Wallace. For once, he didn't have a run that was a disappointment. Now he actually is proving to be a good competitor for William Byron and Rookie of the Year. Hopefully this isn't just a one-off and Bubba can actually get himself some good runs. Although, if I were completely honest, it's probably because of all of the wrecks that happened this weekend. Still a nice run, though. Speaking of Byron, there were so many good drivers that finally got some good finishes out of this weekend. William Byron got himself a top 10 and with the now ugly Liberty University car. Seriously, why they just look at the car? It's ugly. But other drivers that got good finishes from this weekend, probably from all the wrecks that happened, Jamie McMurray, who's been struggling for top 10 finishes lately, got himself a top 3 finish, which was nice to see again. Eric Jones got 4th place and is starting to prove that he is a good replacement for Matt Kenseth. And so many underdogs who got a top 20 finishes. Ty Dillon for once, Michael McDowell, Matt DiBenedetto, who finally got redemption for Daytona. Ross Chastain adding on to his streak of good finishes with Premium Motorsports. Cole Wint, who is still continuing to prove that he is a better driver than Corey LaJoie. And Greg Galding got a top 20. I am dead serious. Greg Galding got a top 20. Now that's a rare occurrence. It isn't ultra rare though because he also finished 20th at Daytona. But the efforts of Landon Castle and Harrison Rhodes weren't going to go unnoticed either. It's nice to see both Castle and Rhodes doing okay. But had we not had all those mechanical failures and crashes, I think they would have finished in the back. Still, it's nice to see all these guys getting decent finishes for once and not throwing their rides down the drain. Hopefully this can happen more, and maybe Matt DiBenedetto can get a better finish next week at Bristol and beat his best finish of 6th place. Who knows? Maybe Ty Dillon can finally win. Maybe Michael McDowell can get a win in the 34 car. Maybe all these underdogs can finally get wins and, places where we don't typically see underdogs. Like, say, Martinsville. Or Kansas, maybe. Yeah, home state. That'd be nice. Make it happen to Benedetto or McDowell. Or maybe Casey Kane. Casey Kane hasn't... Yeah, Kane had a good run this weekend. I mean, I didn't put him in the script. Bit of sad news. Daniel Suarez injured one of his fingers in the lap 2 wreck triggered by Alex Bowman. That's unfortunate. He's still driving though. No replacement needed. Once again, Chase Elliott didn't win. But what's more surprising is that he apparently was screwed out of the win by a bad pit call from Alan Gustafson. Okay. I don't know how bad the pit call was, but if it screwed Elliott out of the win, then it had to have been major. Oh, Jimmy. He looked like he was going to go back to his winning ways after last week. But nope, he had to slide into the big one and then demolish his car on the tire barrier. Well done, Jimmy. Just well done. Such a shame that he's going down the same path Jeff Gordon did when his career was ending. Same with Dale Jr. and Tony Stewart, and I guess Critic Biffle to some extent. Hopefully at least wins at a race this year. Okay, I feel like I'm going to explain this badly if I had scripted it, so this is going to be my completely unscripted thoughts on the Kevin Harvick incident. So here we go. How stupid can NASCAR be? At least they admitted that they should have called them the penalty. But here's what I don't understand. They called a penalty for Ryan Blaney. Yeah, they didn't call a penalty for Kevin Harvick. What is this? I honestly, I'm just in shock. Just how dumb is NASCAR with this? I mean, that's just unbelievably stupid on their part. It's not, you know, that bad in perspective, but I mean, Harvick wouldn't have gotten. I don't think, had the penalty been called, I don't think he would have been in contention for the win. This would have been a repeat of Atlanta of last year. But I want to thank NASCAR for acknowledging their mistake. But come on, guys. You're losing fans as it is. At least try and be more consistent. Don't just favor out one driver for a penalty, but then don't give a driver a penalty that they needed. Or not that they needed, that they deserved. Come on. Was that just biased against Harvick, or did they truly not notice? And if they didn't notice, how? There were like 2 officials per every pit box. Unbelievable. They need NASCAR's. I just can't believe this. No wonder NASCAR's losing so many fans. Fix yourselves, NASCAR. Just fix yourselves. Brian France, just leave. Just leave, dude. Just leave. But my congratulations goes out to Kyle Busch for winning the Cup race this weekend. Looks like Toyota is considering their winning ways, but they still have to compete with Harvick if they want to win the championship. And that, my friends, concludes this episode of Behind the Wall. Thank you all so much for watching, and this is Race Nation 48 signing off.